Hi there. I'm just wanting to do a talk, and I want to do a talk on countries and the fact that people don't actually realize it. It's like the quote by Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs said that, and it's true, that everything is made up by people who are no more smarter than you. And that's the way reality is. It's the same with countries. Countries are just pieces of land that are then controlled by the system at the top that gives them names and labels. They label everything, and what the whole idea is of the education system is so that you repeat this. And they define intelligence by how much repeating that you actually do. And people actually get fooled. Sometimes you get people in their 50s, 60s, that actually still believe this. They haven't woke up. They haven't awakened to the fact that all they are is repeaters. It's nothing to do with intelligence. Like the Americans get criticized, for example, because apparently some of them don't know where certain places are on a map. I probably couldn't tell you. I couldn't. I could probably tell you Britain if I saw Britain. But it's not important anyway. In fact, anyone that repeats the information that is being put there by the education system is stupid. They're stupid to not be aware enough to actually see what it is. Everything is made up by people who are no more smarter than you, like what Steve Jobs said. It's to do with the system. Everything comes from the top. That's what happens. Everything comes from the top, and there is still so many people who get fooled into this by actually thinking, and they program themselves. They just repeat, and they'll have a degree, or they'll know about where all countries are, or they'll know this, and all they don't realize that all they're doing is repeating the programming that's been put there for you. Right? Like so many people, seek outward, for example, and all you're doing when you're seeking outward is what's been put there for you. Everything's been put there, not just by the system, but the people that are programmed by the system. That's why all music, films, everything outward is all engineered, right? Either by the system at the top or people who are programmed by the system at the top. And then when you realize this, you realize the only savior is within you. And that's the only thing that I follow. And flags, are just a stupid way of getting people to believe when they're born in some certain country, I am my country. And the whole idea is to divide and conquer, divide and rule. That's why countries exist. That's why flags exist. To get you to be born, you're actually infinity. You're all of the infinity. Everything comes from an infinite source of nothing. And we're all that. But the reason countries exist is so that when you're born, you believe that you are this country, and so that you'll fight against each other and kill each other in wars. That's the reason for it. It's all about dividing us all. That's why religions were invented. That's why flags, it's like when you watch a game of football and there's two teams against each other, and at the end they all like hug and they become one, but that's a symbolic image of what they do to us. They separate us and call us different teams, different flags, different countries, when it's actually the same one. Everything has to come from a nothing, and nothingness is one infinity. You can't not have separation or two in one infinity. You can only have one infinity. And so that's what they do, and they program this into us. And that's just it. And I'm very aware of this, obviously, because I had an unexpected spiritual awakening. But all awakening is, it's just choosing to be aware. Most people are not aware. They're not aware of what's going on. They're not aware of what they're feeding themselves in their subconscious mind. They just repeat They're like robots. They just basically automatically repeat and respond based on the programming. That's what most people do, and not realizing that that's what they're doing. And when you become more awake, you'll actually, you'll refuse to be in situations where people are like this. And as you're doing this more and more, you're going within yourself, you're becoming a certain energy. You're becoming your higher self, your divinity. But the energy around you has to changes also. So because you're ascending, you're healing and ascending, your energy is changing, right? And then you start to attract abundance in your life. Now, what's abundance? Abundance is an energy awareness, and that's it. But it comes once you realize, once you become oneness, and you realize it's all you, and then you create your reality. But then you become abundance. And all awakening is, it's just choosing to realize that you are your savior. No one's coming to save you. And back to the flags and the countries, it's crazy how some people actually believe this is who they are, and they think that if someone doesn't know where a country is on a map, that they think that that's stupid. When no, it's not stupid. It's just that you are choosing to repeat whatever's in front of you. All you are is a very good parrot, and it's like having a little parrot believing that it's a genius, when all it's doing is repeating things. Anyone can do that. And what that is nothing to do with intelligence. It's to do with just how gullible you are and foolish you are. To actually just, when I was in school, one of the only intelligent things a teacher said to me once was, if they jumped off a bridge, would you do it? But this is what most people do. They would do anything. They just repeat anything that's there. Because they've been told all their life, they've been made to think that repeating makes them look intelligent to others. So what they're trying to seek validation and approval. And these are the kind of people that act really big, and they read a book a day, and they talk all the time, and they actually believe, they want people to actually think that they're intelligent. So what they're seeking is approval. And these kind of people are not confident at all. Because if they were, confidence is a quiet thing. When we're confident, we don't need to seek the approval and validation of external things or people. We're more silent. The more confident you become. When I was not so confident, I used to act big. Now that I'm more confident, I'm more grounded, I'm more present, and you become quieter. You become more still. The reason people don't want to be still in this moment is because, and they always twitch and they always have to be fidgeting with something, is because when we are running from ourselves, we take refuge in external things. And this doesn't heal us. We have to be more present and do what we're feeling at this moment, and to follow that. Most people don't follow their hearts. It's like you could have a woman in an unhappy marriage for years, and she's telling herself it's good and drinking every night, when the truth is that most people just don't follow their heart space. They don't follow what they really feel. And this is the way to happiness, I believe. I watch a lot of these videos on YouTube of older people that are like over 100, and they all say the same things and how they do it, and they just don't worry. And that's it. You just stop trying to be what everyone else is wanting you to be. Go with what you feel. Go with what your soul within you is telling you. What your feelings are is your soul. And to follow that, and that is the way to happiness. Right? If something's upsetting you outside and it's telling you no, then that's telling you. It should tell you to go with what feels good to you. And that's the easiest way to a good life. Because we don't have long in this life, really. Life's too short to be repeating the labeling and the flags and the countries and the programming and obviously it's made up. It's not real. It's all made up. Everything has to start from a blank sheet of nothing. That's meaning everything that you're repeating is made up. And the stupid thing is that people actually repeat it as if it's real. Like the Leonard Cohen line when he says, you live your life as if it's real, you know? What's real if something comes from nothing? Nothing can come from nothing, can it? But I'm just going to end it there. If you're watching, you're meant to watch it. Everything follows the divine order and divine timing. Thank you for watching.